Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? In today's video, firstly, I'm going to be sharing with you a bunch of MYTHOS DLC information for Total War Saga Troy. Then later in the video, I'm going to be starting a MYTHOS campaign as the Amazonian Hippolyta. We're going to be playing as her because she gets access to Harpies and centaur units quite early on in a campaign. I really want to test out those centaur armies, so things are about to get very Percy Jackson up in here soon. The MYTHOS DLC is available to everyone on the 2nd of September. I've also got to say a huge thank you to the Creative Assembly for sending me early access and making this video possible, so thanks to them. So here is a quick rundown of what Troy Mythos is. Mythos adds a new mythological campaign mode, which adds monsters, quests to capture them, and divine powers. The cyclops, the giant units, the Minotaur, the Spartoi, the Sirens, the Harpies, and the Centaurs have been reworked, and these units now have new battle abilities as well. The best way to describe the unit change is essentially these units now have been monstered up. The Divine Will mechanic has been expanded as well, adding new battle abilities, such as Zeus's Thunderbolt and Poseidon's Tidal Wave. These battle abilities are similar to spells we see in Total War Warhammer. Moving on now to the three MYTHOS mythical monsters, the Hydra, the Griffin, and Cerberus. Think of these three as stronger, rare, epic monsters which you must quest to obtain, while the other units we just mentioned are minor monster units. Now, to get one of these monsters, you must go on a mythic expedition quest, which I'll be doing in another video soon with the Hydra. So, you can only attempt these once per campaign, so you need to choose one of the three carefully. Once you obtain either the Hydra, the Griffin, or Cerberus, each have associated units, buildings, in battle, and on map special abilities. First up, we have Cerberus, who has unbreakable and fear-invoking shade warriors. I think he would pair well best with Achilles and his Achaean faction. The Hydra has undead poison warriors. I've just paired the Hydra with Hippolyta because in my next video we're going to be questing for the Hydra with her. The Griffin has some of the best flying units in the game. He's also got a bunch of one-eyed warriors. I've paired him up with Hector of Troy. So these units I've mentioned, the Shade Warriors, the Poison Warriors, and the One-Eyed Warriors, think of these units, they're kind of similar if you play Total War Warhammer in the fact that they're quite closely resembled to a regiment of renowns that you get access to, and there's a limited amount of them. Also, some other changes to mythological mode, which I'd like to note and share with you guys. Battle maps now have more ancient mythic ruins in the background on the battlefield, in the form of temples and architecture, even like long fallen titans off in the distance. We've also got the literal face of the gods watching over. There's even more structural details on the campaign map. Also, in one of my battles, I managed to stumble across this cave with a bunch of harpies hanging outside of it. What a terrifying and frightening sight that would be. There is also a free update alongside Troy Mythos, which adds notably a reworked supply system to Troy in the form of an administration system, which I'll show gameplay of in a moment. So there's a quick summary of the MYTHOS information for you guys. I'm sure there's things I've missed, as this is quite a rather large DLC. I'll talk about the historical changes in another video, but for this video I really want to focus on purely the mythological mode for Troy. So now, let's get stuck into some campaign gameplay, finally. Rightio then guys, let's get stuck into a campaign. So, we'll go through the select screen now, and we'll choose the mythological mode. So here you can choose from historical and of course the truth behind the myth. We're going to be playing as the Amazonians here today, as Hippolyta. Never played as her before, so it should be a lot of fun. I have played as the Denarns and the Trojans quite a bit already. There's also some epic heroes that I haven't played as well, like Diomedes, so I am open to doing more campaigns. Alrighty guys, welcome to the campaign map. We're playing as Hippolyta. It's going to be a lot of fun. So basically what we want to do for this series is to forge a grand and eastern Amazonian empire and yeah, just get a bunch of mythical units as well. So I kind of like playing as the Amazonians because we're not overly too invested in the fate between the Denarns, the Achaeans, and the Trojans. So we can sort of go out and do our own thing and start collecting epic and minor monsters. So looking at Hippolyta, she's one of the best epic archer heroes in the game, along with Paris. She also has a plus 10% to Ares faction-wide. Okay. And various influence stuff as well. Okay, so we have a couple of enemies to the north. So we do get access to centaurs from the get-go, which is awesome. Faction effects-wise, okay, so we are more inclined to be allied to the Trojans, getting diplomatic buffs with them and a lot more minuses to the Denarns. I'm not really... like, I want to form my own kingdom. We might have to go to war with both of them in the end. Okay. Right, well, let's go through what we're working with. So, we've got 1.8k food. Got a bunch of wood, stone, copper, and gold. So, we've got the Homeric victory. I don't think that's overly changed. Unlock all Amazonian Kingdom milestones. Yeah, because we have that own quest thing. And there is the Total War victory conditions as well. So we'll make our way probably more so towards Homeric. Okay, let's go through the royal decrees. So I think getting food and then eventually growth is definitely the play for us. We want to at some point get a small amount of all the resources coming in. So I think it's like 8 or so turns for each of them. So we currently are at war with 2 factions. These guys to the north, and we're also at war with the Athenians, which is interesting. So we have non-aggression pacts with most of the Trojan factions. Hector, Paris, and Troy itself. And we're also allied with the other Horde Amazonian faction. Could have played as her, but I felt like being a grounded civilization rather than a horde. Okay, so here's the Divine Will as well. You're most welcome to pause and have a look at some of the abilities, because obviously Poseidon has his tidal wave, Zeus with the thunderbolt. Hephaestus has some really cool armor buffs. I don't know, I haven't seen all of them either just yet. I think what we want to go for early on is probably Artemis. Getting those additional ammunition early on is really going to help us out. And potentially the ability to ambush more factions on the run. I couldn't seem to find like a spell browser book in this, so I wonder if they'll eventually add that in the future. That'd be quite cool, just to see all of the Divine Will battle effects, which are essentially spells in a lot of circumstances, like Total War Warhammer. Okay, so we're going to get the 15% ammunition now, doing a Hecatomb to Artemis, and yeah. Yeah, so the Cult of Hephaestus gives us Armor of the Gods. Recharges 4 times. Yeah, I really do like the look of that, because you can even get some pretty decent buff to shielded units there. 15%. That's quite nice. Hephaestus and Artemis. If you haven't played Troy since launch, they're the two new gods that got added in the Ajax and Diomedes DLC. I'm pretty sure that was like the free LC that accompanies it. But I wouldn't mind going with Zeus at some point, getting those thunderbolts. And potentially even Poseidon as well, just to check out the tidal wave on the campaign side of things. Let's look into now the Amazonian kingdom. So this is the mechanic to go around and get those, whatever the resource is called, Amazonian remnants or treasures. Okay, they're treasures that we have to go around and get. Once we get a certain amount, it looks like we seem to unlock them. So it's only 800 grain for the first one. Okay, so we'll start working our way towards them. Also, we have the initiation rites. Oh, yes, because then you can upgrade your units from your army if you do have the accompanying buildings, which is really quite cool. You can upgrade your Amazonian warriors on the fly if you have the resources available. But I don't seem to see any mythic units in this. It only seems to be the Amazonian ones. Okay, and here is the administration mechanic. So, additional upkeep penalties due to administration burden. So, that has been changed from the original, older supply system which they had in Troy. So it's been reworked into this administration system, which has a number of tiers. So we're currently at tier 3 when we start off the campaign. Okay, I think I've gone through all of the Amazonian faction, so I think it's time to get some construction underway. So I think getting more additional food is good, because then we can get more armies and more units, those mythological units eventually. And that is the region capital, which we need to push for as well. So there's a small army here. They seem to have a unit of Harpies as well. So we'll be able to test out those centaurs shortly and see those Harpies in action. So there's also been a lot of stuff added to the campaign map. I just thought I'd show you guys. Even in the far south, we see the Egyptian gods in the distance. This is pure speculation on my behalf, but I wouldn't be surprised if they make an appearance later on in Troy. Okay, let's get stuck into a battle. We've done all of the housework setting this up. So we can get archers and centaur melee units essentially. So Artemis is going to help us out. We didn't manage to ambush, so we got 15% additional ammunition, but it looks like they're going to stand and fight. So they've got 2 units of Harpies. We do have a bunch of Amazonian archers and swordsmen. Well, I guess technically swordswomen in this battle. Let's go. Okay guys, welcome to the battlefield. Here is Hippolyta with her Amazonian women. There she is, keen to bring down and rain fire on some Harpies. Then we've got the noble, loyal and proud centaur units accompanying her. And then in the distance we have some ancient Greek ruins as well. Let's have a look at the enemy host. So here are the Harpies. Can't wait to see how they perform in this battle. Hopefully they're not underwhelming compared to the Harpies in Total War Warhammer. Just depending on the difficulty. I just think they get shredded way too much, Harpies. But they are free upkeep in Warhammer too, so a lot of people still do like them. Okay, let's start things off. So, what have we got? Fighters of Artemis, which gives us a missile damage and speed. I'm just seeing what abilities are available to us. So, they have a speed and charge, which gives a minus to defense, because some units have reworked battle abilities. And then we've got volley, and that as well. And the... oh, that's really cool. So, the centaur units on the battlefield have a Centaurian circle, which I'm assuming is probably similar to the circle mechanics we see in Total War Attila, even like Rome too, I'd imagine. So let's move up here, close the distance, and get those archers firing. So the Harpies are making their way up, and we'll move our centaurs down as well. Some of them are getting their shots off as they come charging through the open field. But check out that nightmare in the sky. The Harpies are... oh, I was about to say they're about to descend upon my front line, but they did a bit of a bait and switch. They're pulling further back to my units on the far left here now. And fierce fighting is going underway with the Amazonian swordsmen and spearwomen bringing down some crazy looking Harpies. Okay, so my infantry now is engaging them. We have skirmisher supremacy in this, so we've managed to whittle down those Harpies quite a bit. Those centaurs were kited off by the Harpies there. So let's move around here. So a little bit back and forth. Alright, we want to try and swing around and pin this unit down, flank around it. Get the centaurs to hit them from behind. Or we try and flank it with our infantry until they get there. Focus my archers on the Harpies, because they're incredibly weak to missile fire. And our centaurs are getting some shots off on that unit, and it looks like it's broken away. So, not too much those Harpies could have done. Most of the enemy force now is in a full retreat. All that remains is their hero, which is just an archer skirmisher. Maybe if he was a fighter, he probably could stand his ground a little bit more. Oh no, now even he's in a full retreat. Now, I could leave him alive to grind out another fight, but because he's in such close proximity to a settlement, we want to just try and destroy the army if we can. Close victory. So there's a bit of a taste and a bit of a tease of an early minor battle with mythical units. So the centaurs did alright, 104, that's not too bad. About the same as the rest of our infantry load. But Hippolyta has managed to get rid of the old man there. And so she does get a buff from spilling their blood, doesn't she? So I think we want to try and do a siege quickly though. So we probably want to take on the casualties now. The morale might be nice though. It's only 15%. Yeah, I think we'll just go with the morale. My power grows. Okay, so let's get some more centaurs in. Okay, cool beans. So, Hippolyta has now gone up to rank 2. I think moving accuracy, we can probably get that eventually. I think fire while moving is the best play here. Okay, so we've got some more centaurs with us. And they've fled back to the city. It's going to be a Pyrrhic if we can do it. Okay, so we lost 2 initiates and a centaur fighter. Okay, That's a shame. Well, that's alright. We'll take the losses on the chin here. I'm only able to play a limited amount of time on this DLC, so I'm not going to be able to play every single battle until full release. I'm also only allowed to play 100 turns as well, so I do have to pick and choose what I fight. Okay, so they've only got one more settlement here, and we're going to be able to get a region capital. So we want to go continuing to get those Amazonian resources. So we'll auto-resolve this one as well. And then we've carved our own little Amazonian empire here, or kingdom, with 3 settlements, which is nice. And we'll easily be able to recruit those back. Okay, so after taking those cities, we have enough Amazonian treasures now. So we can unlock our first milestone, which is going to cost us 10 and 800 grain as well, which we're making 1.2k a turn. We've got 1.5 in the bank, so we're quite comfortably making a nice profit at the moment. And we can actually spend these to upgrade our units as well, even the mythological ones, like the centaurs, which is really cool. Okay, we're slowly but surely convalescing. Getting our military up and going. It looks like we've got an invading horde faction as well. So we can upgrade the initiates as well, once we have the available buildings. Okay, our Hecatomb for Artemis has unfortunately expired. So if we want to get that again, we're going to have to pay for it. 20 gold, 400 grain. Not overly too much. Let's just go with that again, I think. Because I quite like the additional ammunition. So, we've got a small army here. So, where was it? It was about here before it disappeared in the fog of war. Oh, here it is. Oh, okay. So this is a shade army that's popped up. Right, so these armies pop up during your campaign to give yourself a little bit of a showcase of the various units. I think we have to fight a Griffin and a Hydra army soon at some point. So here's our first battle against a Cerberus Shades army. This is going to be a tough one, because these guys are fear-invoking and are unbreakable. So here are the Shades from Hades. They look really quite cool. Similar to the ghostly figures we see in Warhammer. Even the archers have these really cool looking purple, like, tracer rounds for the arrows. Alright, let's start the battle and get stuck in. Okay, so let's just try and close the distance out on them. So, we've now got a pretty decent army build going. 3 swordswomen, 3 spears, 3 archers, 2 centaur archers, 1 centaur warrior unit, and then the 2 skirmisher variants. So, what we want to do for this one is pin the shades in place. Now, but we've got to be careful, because they are going to fight to the bitter end, as they are unbreakable. We're going to have to keep Hippolyta nice and tight and close to the army. The last thing we want is for us to break away because of that fear. So we'll pin them in place. Here come the tracer arrow rounds incoming, and then we want to use our archers to hit their units from behind, because they're going to stay in place, hopefully. So the Shades and the Amazonian women are going to clash upon their front lines. Getting stuck in. Okay, so my centaurs are engaging some of the Shades in the rear just to stop the shots there. So we've got some of the gods watching over us in this fight. We've even got some sea monsters in the background as well. We might not be able to beat the archers here. We just need to stop them from firing. So some of our units are breaking, which is not good. We just need to pin them in place. Okay, so let's cycle charge with my centaur melee warriors, and then just get the archers, hit them in the rear. Just cycle charge in and out if we can.
Your warriors are rallying.
It's going to be a close one. It's currently 80% or so, I'd say, in my favour. But these shades are giving us a tough fight. Okay, so they're now broken as well. Oh, there goes the general unit that we're focusing on. They're now gone. Perfect. We've sent those bad boys back to the underworld from whence they came, and now he's in a full retreat as well. Okay, they performed really quite well. Now I'm pretty sure once we defeat this army we do get access to one shade unit as our centaurs try and litter them with arrows. Good stuff, boys. And girls. Close victory. We'll take that. Alright. Let's end that battle there. So, how long what did we do casualties-wise? Archers did alright. Yeah. I thought the centaurs would have done a lot better in that one. But Hippolyta manages to take out another old man. Oh. Alright. Yeah, let's go with the morale again. Alright, so we've gotten rid of the returned army. So now we have a reward here. Yeah, so it's in the special recruitment slot. So, Spearmasters of Elysium. So we get these guys in. They're a little bit expensive, but we'll take the hit. Alrighty, so we're in a really good place at the moment. 11 turns in, we've got a secondary army on the way, and I think we should push into this province here to continue and expand the Amazonian kingdom. So we've got grain, wood, and more Amazonian relics that we can get. Where we are situated in Asia Minor and Turkey, there's a lot of sort of invading Denan factions, which have sort of, well, more so, it's not invading, it's really allied factions that we'll focus on. Then I guess we'll sort of betray our Trojan allies. We're in a quite safe location in the campaign. The only other epic hero that's anywhere near us is Sarpedon to the south. Because if he doesn't get the ball rolling, we can easily deal with him. And potentially an invading force potentially could be Menelaus of Sparta. Because him and Odysseus do tend to island hop in the south in Crete. So they are the Denan factions that we have to watch out for. Hippolyta is now rank 5. We've also got some agents as well. Alrighty. So we might be able to take their entire province in the moment, and we've secured a port city, so that'll be good for trade. Okay, let's move our priestess in here, and we've also got a spy as well. We'll poison the well, I think. It's probably the best play, just to weaken the garrison and the unit inside. We were successful, perfect, and now Hippolyta with a full stack and with an additional reinforcing army should be able to take the settlement with auto-resolve ease. Yes, That's what I'm talking about. The 95% in our favour. Let's go. Oh. We lost a spear in it. Yeah, I guess they're tier 1. I feel like the order result has been a little bit harsh for us in this first video. I don't know. Maybe not. But like I mentioned before, I've only got a limited amount of time. So I want to try and get to the mid and late game eventually. Alrighty. So I'm going to end things here, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the first early turns of a Hippolyta Amazonian mythological campaign. Stay tuned for another video coming out soon, because I'm going to continue exactly where we left off, and because it's not too far ahead, it happens between about now and about 30 turns, that we can get access to the expedition quest, which we're going to be going for the Hydra. I've chosen I want to go for the Hydra, but you can choose to obviously go out and get Cerberus or the Griffin, depending on your faction or preferenced playstyle. So stay tuned for that video soon. We will be continuing this Hippolyta campaign. So thanks again. Without further ado, I'm going to play the outro now. Unfortunately, it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Check out my social media links in the description below if you'd like to stay connected with me. Let me know feedback and suggestions for the video. Gotta say a huge thank you to my patrons and channel members: Victor K, Sebastian C, Jordan K, Caesar L, Brian S, Tal, Liam B, Kyle P, Tom C, and Wyatt P. So thanks guys, my name has been Simpzy, much love from Australia, goodbye.